again, a synopsis of what's going on in Washington with regards to this process, right? De nuevo, si alguien no habla inglés, tenemos a Máximo que le puede dar los audífonos para que le dé la traducción inmediata. Well, impeachment, no one is above the law. We know what that is, and not even the President of the United States. And of course, an impeachment itself, if you go to the next one, Max, an impeachment, it's a process by which a legislative body charges against a government official. It's not the removal itself. It's sort of like an indictment in criminal law. Right? And what's happening right now is there are three committees: the Intelligence Committee, the Oversight Committee, and the Foreign Affairs Committee that are conducting the investigation. So very often you hear the president and other folks say, well, why don't we have access to the room, to the facts, to the testimonies that are given in this investigation? Well, a suspect doesn't go over to the district attorney and says, let me tell you how you're going to conduct my investigation. If an investigation is open, a witness can come in and testify, and the next witness may be intimidated if they see that the testimony that the previous witness gave now becomes public. And so that is why it has to be a confidential process only by the members of the committee. Yesterday you saw how a group of Republicans stormed the committee room. None of them were part of any of the three committees. They went there to disrupt the process. But the process has to be confined, similar to almost to a grand jury proceeding. And so we're conducting the investigations now, and the process is pretty much sort of like an indictment process. And of course, that power is given to us by Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution, which basically gives you the impeachment power and says that the President, the Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for the conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Now, back in November 2017, 6 of us stood up and presented articles of impeachment. We felt then, as we feel now, some of us are no longer there. For example, Congressman Luis Gutierrez from Illinois, who's there in the center, retired since then. But we felt then, this is previous to the Mueller investigation, that there was enough evidence, we felt, to impeach the president on several grounds, right? On several grounds. The articles of impeachment that we presented were 5 of them, right? The first one was an obstruction of justice. And we felt that the president's interaction with the head of the FBI when he asked him to leave some of his friends alone, to take it light with them, constituted obstruction of justice. It's like similar to me going to the local precinct commander and saying to the commander, leave Max alone, who may have committed a crime. Leave him alone. Don't bother him. I think the power of the office gives you enough muscle to perhaps have that precinct commander not move forward with an investigation. So that's obstruction. You obstruct justice that way. We also felt, and you're hearing more about this now. You're hearing more about this now, that on the emoluments clause, that Article 1, Section 9 of the U.S. Constitution says that a sitting president cannot enrich himself from a king or a prince or any foreign government. They cannot take money from them. They cannot make profit from them. And since the president has not revealed his tax records, and he's still associated with the Trump organization, we feel that he violated both the emoluments clause, we felt then as we feel now, domestically and internationally as well. foreign emoluments as well. So if a foreign government comes to Trump Plaza, rents out a whole floor, or as you saw, one of his hotels in Florida was going to host the G meeting, right? The G7 meeting. And so he's profiting from this activity. And the Constitution is very clear about what a president can and cannot do with regards to lining his or her pockets, right? We also felt that his assault on the judiciary and the press, which is a very important column of democracy, also warranted these last two articles of impeachment. During that process, about over 80 members of Congress in one way, shape, or form have manifested an interest or had voiced their opinion favorably on impeachment. But the Mueller investigation was continuing at that point, and we felt that we needed to wait to hear the results of the investigation. Now, we saw the 2 volumes. They're like 1,000 pages long, and one of them is really about obstruction. The other one is about collusion. The professor will probably tell you a little bit about collusion, and collusion has a very tough threshold to meet. To prove collusion is very difficult legally. Obstruction, the Mueller report pretty much left it up to us because he felt that he could not indict a sitting president. And so that became very complicated in terms of presenting it to the American people. But this latest incident, right, with the Ukraine and the whistleblower was really straightforward and clear. And so we have, Max, if you can move it to the next page, to the following one of this. The whistleblower came forward with a complaint, and of course, the issue is around whether the President of the United States, in a conversation that he had with the Ukrainian President Zelensky, pressured him to unduly investigate one of his political opponents, President Biden and his son, in exchange for military aid, the purchase of javelins and other military equipment. And so we have been, in the last several weeks, we have been engaged in the Intelligence Oversight and Foreign Affairs Committees in conducting the investigation. And before us, we've had several actors and players in this process, including Joseph McGuire, who was the acting director of National Intelligence. He gave his testimony on September 26th. Michael Atkinson, who's the U.S. Intelligence Community Inspector General. We also had Kurt Volker, former U.S. Special Representative to the Ukraine. Maria Jovanovic, who's a former U.S. Ambassador to the Ukraine. Fiona Hill, who's a former Russia advisor for President Trump.
Thank you. Congresista, viendo este panorama, el proceso, realmente, ¿qué tan involucrado está la comunidad latina, que realmente tiene muchos proyectos parados con esta administración?
Yo creo que sí, que la comunidad nuestra también está interesada en el tema de impeachment, de la destitución del presidente. Es algo que compete a la democracia, a nuestra nación, y nosotros también nos sentimos ser parte íntegra de los Estados Unidos. Yo no creo que hay una falta de interés de nuestra comunidad. Creo que también están interesados. La comunidad de su distrito, que una parte, más de un 30% es hispano, ¿habrán este tipo de foros? Sí, vamos a seguir haciéndolo, y lo vamos a hacer también en Hamilton Heights, en Inwood, también en el barrio y en Harlem también. Toda la semana vamos a tener uno en diferentes sitios. Ya por último, congresista, ¿cómo realmente va el proceso ya que usted forma parte del Comité de Investigación? Nosotros estamos investigando todavía y nos quedan muchos testigos. Ya hemos interrogado alrededor de 10 testigos que nos han dado mucha información, muchas evidencias. Ya cuando concluyemos el proceso, le presentamos las evidencias al Comité Judicial, que entonces determina si van a elaborar los cargos en contra del presidente, que se llevan al Senado, donde se lleva a cabo el juicio.
Gracias, Congressista.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, Congressman. How are you? I'm Darcy. Sort of quick for a question. So can you just tell me what was the real importance about holding a meeting like this today?
Well, I'm taking these types of meetings across the district and, of course, right here in the Bronx as well. And I think it's important that I keep my constituencies informed as to what we're doing in Washington throughout this impeachment process. I think they see it on TV and they're sort of like anxious about it, but I think the nuts and bolts of it they need to understand, and that's why we brought up a distinguished professor from Columbia University Law School here today to give us the legal background, and then of course I'm part of the Foreign Affairs Committee and I tell them what happened this week in Washington.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what's happening in Washington and what's the move been like since the impeachment proceedings began?
Well, we have three committees, the Intelligence, Oversight, and Foreign Affairs that are conducting the investigation. We have interviewed already over 10 witnesses, and we're hoping to continue interviewing through depositions other witnesses that will give us, I think, the evidence that we need to get to present the body of evidence to the Judiciary Committee, who will then determine whether or not to draft articles of impeachment.
And as far as impeachment, what does that mean for residents of the Bronx or New York City for that matter?
Well, it's important. I think no one is above the law. You know, whether you're a single mom or whether you're a grandmother, whether you're a small business owner, whether you're a professional, or whether you're president of the United States. No one is above the law, and everybody should remain within the parameters of the law, and an impeachment process is what determines whether or not the president broke the law.
All right. Thank you.